So I'm thinking in today's world, we find ourselves trying to escape boredom as much as we can, right? It's because we are overstimulated, I'd say. Like 10 or 20 years ago, we didn't have all this technology and all this stimulus that we have nowadays. So we're overstimulated. We're constantly craving some sort of, mental stimulation, some sort of entertainment, even. Nowadays, everything is just so accessible. It's in the palm of your hand, right? You can find everything on your smartphone. Most of the world has access to the internet and everything that the internet offers. So it's no wonder that we're constantly craving some sort of stimulation. We just can't bear to be bored nowadays. I think it's not about finding enjoyment and being hedonistic, but rather finding peace, especially peace in that boredom. Like, just allow yourself to be bored. Just allow your brain to not be, stimulated by something and to not always process some sort of information. Your brain needs to rest, not just when you sleep. You don't need to be involved in some sort of activity all the time. You can just take a day off, just chill, just watch the sky, be aware, be present. I think that's more helpful than just seeking stimulus. And that's not even mentioning how completely destroyed our attention spans are nowadays. And this constant need to get dopamine, like artificial dopamine from our devices, is just not good, man. I mean, I used to be excited about technological advancement. I grew up when dial up was still a thing. That was my first internet access, dial up, basically. When I first had dial up, it was huge for me. Access to the internet. Like, what is this World Wide Web that I now have access to via the computer? And playing video games also was a big thing for me. I don't think kids nowadays even play hide and seek and things like that. They don't even know what that is. I can't imagine being born and having a phone in your hands like since you're 2 years old or something like that. And that's not okay. That's not okay. You're robbing the children of their childhood, basically. You're not giving them a chance to grow up in a more natural way, but you're just giving. It's not that the parents are to blame, right? It's just the times we live in and the way society is. But you're giving them phones and devices. They're It's not their choice. They just have to do it. It's just the reality they're born in. Now, I'm not against technology. Like I said, I grew up in that like transition phase from a kind of old school way of life to this new way of life, technological way of life. Looking back at it in retrospect, it's crazy how fast everything was developing, how fast everything was starting to develop, right? Because we went from like dial up internet to flat internet, fast internet in the span of a couple of years, essentially. I mean, I was growing up in it, so it didn't feel so strange to me. Nowadays, it's even faster. Nowadays, with AI, is just, I don't know, the pace of life has accelerated. Everything's just crazy fast. We don't allow ourselves a moment to just sit in silence, I guess. I guess people don't really want to do that, can't really do that. It's like people have physically lost the ability to just sit in silence with their thoughts or even without their thoughts. People don't want to feel like they're passive. They have this idea in their heads that they have to be active and productive most of the time in order to, I guess, feel valuable as a human being. Of course, not just that, it's about money as well. If you're not working, if you're passive, you're not making money, and nobody likes that, right? The main point I wanted to talk about was just this, you know, impulsive need to avoid boredom. I think more than ever, it's important for us to just stop and stare every once in a while. Just be aware of yourself, of your surroundings. Just, take it in because the more we're rushing, like, where are we rushing to anyway? The more we're rushing and fast paced, the more just life is going by us. But you having like a day for yourself and some time for yourself, and you can't even manage to sit an hour or two with yourself basically and feel content. Again, not really content, but just at peace. That's what I think should be the goal. Entertainment should not be the goal, rather, serenity and some kind of peace. Inner peace should be the goal. That's what we should seek. Not just constantly craving stimulation, but just try and relax, I guess, and try and find that peace within, right? Because outside, you're not gonna find much of it. But you gotta set it as a goal first. You gotta set peace as a goal. Having a goal, setting a goal, I guess, would be associated with, again, productivity, which in this context, I'm talking about how you should actually try to, be less productive in order to be more at peace. Take it easy. That's it. Don't rush so much. Don't put yourself under that much pressure. Things have to be done, of course, bills have to be paid, but just try and find a moment at least to be bored. Allow yourself to be bored. It's going to help your brain. It's going to help you in the long term. Even if you want to achieve something, it's okay. You need that boredom. You need that R&R to progress further. It's not counterproductive to be bored and just not do anything.